Hello, hello. All right, Adam is going to work on what are we doing today? I split up the whole to-do list. I went to the library yesterday and I made tasks out of everything. Also, what is this? All right, I think we're going to delete this section. Hey, Meridia, you have a chance to claim first. Just do it. Click the button. Thought you were taking like a week-long break. It pretty much was a week-long break. I think it was 6 days. Well, kind of, maybe 5 days. You got it. You did it. Yeah, I streamed last Friday and then yesterday morning. So it was like 3 work days that I didn't stream. But I'm feeling pretty good. I hope you've had a good break from my stream. All right, what are we doing here? Adam's gonna work on revamping challenge mode to make it more casual, add meta progression, etc. And read more about the context behind that here. Okay, let's put that there. And then play testing. Do you want to try these changes out before they fully launched? Or actually, do you want to help try these changes out before they launched? If so, read this. Okay, we are almost at the part where I can start coding. There, done. Okay. Is this still fine? Yeah, this is still fine. Hey, Flashburn. Half watching while painting minis. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you were here yesterday during the game design section. That's a little bit more followable while you're just listening. A lot of what's going to happen today is going to be coding, and it's not even all that followable when you're watching. And I don't know how technical you are either, but it's at least good background noise. It's not like a lot of jumpy sounds or anything. About to debug someone's C# code for running an automation system for Disney. Wish me luck. Good luck. Man. I mean, when I think of debugging, I think, depending on what you mean exactly, I think it is finding the cause. It's like maybe reproing the issue, finding the cause, and then fixing it. And each of these steps can be fun. So yeah, depending on where you are exactly, or whether you meant like literally debugging and stepping through code, I think it'd still be fun. It's tough sometimes. So yeah, you might need the luck. Software engineer for 20 plus years, managed to make a game for a while. Ah, I see. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Then you will understand the process. But I suggest you paint your minis and not pay attention too closely. All right, so I don't particularly have this in any order. And the to-do list is much shorter than I thought. It's like a page and a half, and I'm used to, 20 pages of to-do items. So I wonder if this is the best starting point, revamping specializations, removing them. The level presented, each one has these constraints. The thing is, if we get rid of specializations, I guess we're going to replace them with meta perks. Maybe we should have the meta perks in first. Yeah, like this should probably be done first. Because that's the positives, and then the negatives are the challenge track. So this. Now that we have both the positive and negative aspects covered. Okay. Is that Avi? Yes, that is. This tiny little peanut butter colored splotch on the screen is probably easier for you to see. No, yeah, it is easier for you to see. Yeah. Amniotic bind. Pretty sure it's an async await problem of the thread. Yeah, I think hunting down async problems is sometimes difficult because there's like a formal proof that it can happen and then an empirical proof that it does happen. And it's sometimes difficult to empirically prove it. All right, meta perks. So here's what I'm thinking. We have a challenge mode configuration, and this keeps track of, oh wow, this code's already broken. All right, let's reload that. It keeps track of your specialization ID and then a difficulty ID. And difficulty ID was just easy, medium, hard, very hard. I mean, now this should probably just be a number. from like 1 to 20 or 0 to 20 maybe. Oh, I haven't fully figured that out yet. So now instead of specialization ID, I think what we need to do is keep track of an abilities component and say something like meta perks. Probably shouldn't call it meta perks. Probably should call it abilities. No, maybe meta perks. I don't know. Naming, let's just ignore. So get init, and let's set this up. Meta perks equals new. And I think we pass in a collection of abilities. Yeah. So now we technically have the ability to have these meta perks. And in town challenge mode functions, we have these functions of setup specialization. This is eventually going to disappear. But what we will need to do is keep track of which meta perks you got. Abilities component, meta perks equals title screen, not challenge mode. Okay, so here's this. And I want to add one of these somewhere. And we don't have any of these to begin with. Just make it so there are a couple that can modify your run. Maybe they make you start with certain perks. I guess the way this would work is you have an abilities component. We check if grant increased appetite is there. Yeah. Yeah, so this would be like meta perk grant increased appetite. And then we need this to exist somewhere. So it is a Boolean perk. There's another one that we have a Boolean perk for. Flimsy fish. Flimsy fish. So let's save this. Should probably not save this as a player skill. Hang on a second. Let me take a look at this. Where? Trade-off abilities? Do we not have another folder here? Oh, that's it. Okay. Well, maybe I should have called this meta perks. Does it matter? It doesn't technically matter, but I probably should do it. And it's technically a player skill. Isn't that what trade-off abilities are, though, too? Yeah, they inherit from player ability. I guess the folder structure doesn't need to match the OOP structure. Yeah, I'll just add a new folder here, and we'll call this meta perks. Okay, so then this should have gone inside of meta perks. So let's go find out where that goes. There we go. And then we probably shouldn't call it meta perk. It should probably just be grant increased appetite. And then I got to go delete the other one of those that we have. This. Reveal in Finder, delete. Okay, so this is just going to be called grant increased appetite. Grant increased appetite. I'm not even sure if that's the name of... What do I call it? Is it hunger? Hunger? Faster hunger? This is called increased appetite. Okay, yeah, sure, fine. All right, icon ID. I guess the same one that increased hunger used, which is what? Feast. So icon ID.feast, we'll use the same one here. Max level is 1. Required building ID is... Technically, there are no required building IDs for any meta perks. But we might want to say that this requires the garbage slime. I'm not actually sure. Now, as far as the ability goes, the description. So this is going to be grant increased appetite. And the description is going to be something like start each run with level 1 increased appetite. The issue is this doesn't tell you what this does. I don't like that. Oh man, hate 3D Code Warrior. So we probably need to pull in the skill tree of this. The garbage slime gets hungry faster. And we have the hunger bonus list there. And that's private static. This is protected. But technically we can get this through a public function that we have somewhere. Get tooltip. Yeah. Oh, God. All right. Let's try concatenating that. I think this is going to look like trash. But we're going to need to look at it in context. Oh, boy. Okay. So what are we doing here then? This isn't even static. Oh, God. Oh, man. Also, should you be able to see these from within the game, I wonder? All right, let me take a look at this one more time. So we have get tooltip here. This would return everything that you see right now when you hover over increased appetite, and it's not static, so we need an instance of this. And why do we need an instance? Because of the current level. Yeah, because of the current level. I wonder. There are a lot of different ways we can do this. Hey, Kevin. And even just from a UI perspective, we ignore coding for a bit, and I just look at what would you as a player want to see if you saw a meta perk grants level 1 increased appetite. So like option 1 is nothing. I don't think that's ever the option. Option 2 is the entire skill table. So like level 1 is plus 50%, and level 2 is plus 100%, and level 3 is whatever, so on and so forth. And option 3 is just the level you're getting. So something like grants, let's just copy this, which gives plus 50% increased hunger rate or something like that. Design another overhaul of challenge mode recently? Yeah, well, it's the stuff we've been talking about for the last like couple streams, I guess. So you've probably heard most of the ideas that were there, and now we're finally coding it. Which of these options is best? I kind of think it's this. I think it's option 2, which is just to show you everything. Which is kind of weird, because what that means we need to do is we need to do something like this. Faster hunger, like granted ability equals, I don't remember how you do this. Base ability construct. Does it take in an ID? It takes in a type. Isn't there a thing that calls this that takes in the ID? Yeah, there it is. Create ability. Well. Well. All right, so then all abilities dot create ability ID dot cycler faster hunger. And then set the level of that, maybe. Level equals 1, because that's a level we're granting. And then our description of this is going to be this, and then like new line, and then base ability tooltip. This might look okay. It might look terrible. We don't even have a way of viewing it, so it's not going to matter. Granted ability dot get tooltip. And this takes in what, an abilities component? Yes, it does. And the abilities component isn't going to work because it doesn't have the ability that we want. Maybe we don't set the level of that there. I'm not actually positive how this is going to pan out. All right, well, there's the tooltip. Let's try making this and then printing it and seeing if it looks good. All right, so where did that function go? Here. All right, so here are the meta perks. We're going to now add in an ability. So set ability level, ability ID, meta perk. There's only one meta perk I added. All right, there we go. And then get that ability. Get ability. And this is just going to be a base ability. We'll call it Testeroni for now, because why is this wrong? Converting possible null or it's not null. All right, and then print out gd.print dot get tooltip like that. Now, why is that a problem? Cannot convert from abilities component to node. What? Entity. Oh God. All right, it's gotta be a player ability apparently, which means we need to cast this there. All right, so all that should happen, literally all that should happen, is that it prints out a tooltip, because it's not like I made this functional yet. I just want to see if the tooltip looks good, even though there's no way for it to show in the game yet. But there will eventually be, and I think it might work. Okay, so here it is. We copy this, and we paste it into here in a new rich text label. So paste and then expand this. Okay, so that's wrong. This says level 0. But otherwise, is this okay? Like the title of the second ability just shows right here. It could be. I think it's... Yeah, I think it could be. Or at least it's an okay starting point. But we need the level of this to be higher. Oh, man. Okay. Well, the way we would get it to be higher is by temporarily increasing the level, which is what we have here. And we do this in one other spot. And I just need to remember what that spot is. It's for the roguelike stuff. Town perk choice. How do we do this here? We clone the ability and increase the level and then make a new abilities component with a clone thing. I don't know why this is funny to me. But yeah, I guess we'd have to do that. We should probably encapsulate this in something somewhere. I don't know. Maybe like clone at one level higher. But we're actually making an abilities component that just has this single level in it. Let me think about this a little bit more. We're taking an ability. We're actually taking an abilities component and then making a new one where just one thing is a level higher. Okay, I can make a function that does that. And I guess we'll use it in 2 different places. So where's our clone function? We don't have a clone function in here. Well, we're about to have one. Public abilities component clone with, or like, maybe we make this static. Create from existing. Create, oh man, I don't know what we can call this. It's like create a new component with one ability, one level higher. It's not cloning the whole thing. It's just cloning the ability. Create with single ability at higher level. I don't know, whatever. Let's come up with a better name in a bit. All right, so we do this. We take in the ability ID, and then we just copy paste all this stuff. Okay. So this is going to be the abilities component. This get ability or default, which means it'll create one for us. Why is this problematic right now? Can I use local variable AC before it's declared? It's right there. Oh, I don't know what that's about. Oh, because of this. Yeah, so this is just return, and then that should fix everything. Okay. Now it's going to say to escalate this. Yeah. All right. Now we use that. So we say abilities component AC equals town.player abilities.create. The stupidly long name that I just made, which I guess doesn't look like that at all. It's abilities component.create. And then the stupidly long name. And then we pass in this and this. And delete all of that stuff. Nice. That's a new trigger word for me. Oh, man. What does on-call consist of? Ability. We did this for what, the tooltip? Yuck. Well, I guess this has to exist now. Actually, is this even smart? We needed the ability and we needed the cloned abilities component. We get the tooltip out of that. Is all we care? No, not all we care about. Yeah. Okay, fine. Ability. What was ability? Because we need to copy paste that. There's a player ability. Okay. I mean, this should be pretty easy to do. Don't get me started. Oh no. Oh no. So this is just ac.get ability or default. This has to have the ability. So it has to be get ability. I guess the or default is fine to have, but it'll just never get triggered. Yeah, I think it's a little strange. But now we can use this from over here. And it should be totally fine, right? So abilities component, create this from the abilities component that was passed in. Then the ability ID is going to be this, because this is the base thing that we grant. And then we get that ability and we show it. This is needed. Oh God, this is ridiculous, is what this is. This is the ability. I guess we call this granted ability. I probably am going to want to encapsulate this somewhere so that we can just specify here's the base thing we give and here's what level we give it at. Although it'll only work for level 1 right now. Maybe we should parameterize that too. Like to say how many levels higher, int num levels higher equals 1. And then just plus equal the num levels higher. Yeah, okay. All right, so here's what we can do. We can say const ability ID equals that, and then const level to grant equals that, and put that there, and put that there. All right, and there's our generic function. We just need to parameterize these things now, and then put this into some like meta ability. Okay, well, let's try it. Let's make sure it's working. I think it will be. Again, all this is going to do is print out a tooltip. And then we're going to paste that tooltip into Godot and see what it looks like. And it should look, you know, kind of more or less fine. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? How could I have messed this up? Level to grant. It's like number of levels higher than whatever we had to grant. This, then get ability to default, then get the granted ability to good tooltip. What am I missing? Did I not copy it maybe? I'd find that very hard to believe. No, I copied it. Hey, Steger. Uh-oh. All right, well, let's just rerun it. I'll figure out what's going wrong here. Oh, whoops. I think I'm passing the, yeah, I'm passing the wrong abilities component. That's supposed to be AC. Ugh. This is the cloned one. That's why this is stupid. Okay, there we go. Played some of the demo. It's really neat. Nice. I don't recall if you mentioned either, but I'm glad to hear it. If you're interested, you could help test these changes that I'm going to be making, but they're not going to be ready yet for a little while. But I need all of the feedback I can get on it. One of the things... What's going on now? What is going on now? Did I not copy everything? Copy all. This seems like a copy-paste problem. Like I didn't actually get this stuff on the clipboard. Yeah, nice. Now it's working. Yeah, so... One of the things I was kind of hoping would happen, I have the stats that Steam gives, the metrics for this stuff, and specifically playtime. The demo is very healthy. It's still at about 2 hours over like 8,000 players, and that's median time. The playtest version ideally would have had an average time that was like more than 10 hours at this point, had I made things as fun as possible. But it is not more than 10 hours, which means things are not as fun as they can be. So I'm hoping after these changes, I release this and people are like, oh yeah, I like this. I get this. And they want to just keep playing. So I need more people to run that by. I kind of want to get rid of the title of this, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe we just leave it at that for now. All right, well, this was step 1. Step 1 was just get it so that we could grant an ability in a fake component somewhere, which we've done. Step 2 is to grant it to you for real, which I think should be like trivially easy to do. But I'm going to have to refactor this. In fact, I should write this down. What is going on with my keyboard? Refactor out a meta perk so that we can easily replicate this specific. It's not even meta perk. It's meta perk granting ability. So we can easily replicate this specific behavior. Yeah. I'm not going to worry about that for now. But the thing I do need to worry about is this. So here we have your meta perks, and then these will get set up from the player. Imagine that instead of you picking this perk through code, you're picking it through the UI. And then what we do is we go through all of your meta perks and we grant you any abilities you might have had. In fact, how is that going to work? I guess we just grant them all to you. Half of them aren't going to mean anything, though. Okay, so in the case, we have some categories of perks here. And one category is perks that grant other perks. So for example, grants level 1 increased appetite. This is a meta perk. So like the whole thing is a meta perk. Increased appetite is a perk. That's category 1. Category 2 is going to be something like start with +1 adventurer. What even is this category? This is just like some start of run thing. I shouldn't get too tricky about this for right now. Let's just... Like the simplest possible thing I can do here is this. I can say if meta perks dot is it seriously not working anymore? Has unlocked ability. Yeah. Meta perk grant. Oh, come on. I really wish I didn't have to reload VS Code so many times. It's like regular autocomplete breaks. It's not even AI based. It's just like I can't see what the ability ID is called. And I don't want to type out meta perk grant increased appetite every time. This is like 1990s coding level of thing that I want to solve. All right, so in this case, then we grant you the recycler faster hunger ability. It's not even grant. It's like set level of ability to be whatever the ability level was that we're going to have there, which I guess is... It's not even the level of that. Yeah, it's just 1 for now. Okay. Yeah, let's try it. Yeah. So this is the simplest possible way we can do this. I'm going to genericize this in a bit, but this will grant us, hopefully, level 1 of... It did not do that. Wait, why didn't it do it? Is this code even running? It's probably running and I messed something else up. It is running. Here's player abilities. We currently have 3 abilities. Auto battling, extractor training. Oh, I see what I did wrong. I'm granting this, but I'm granting it through a way that won't show in the UI. You need to call this force grant ability at specific level. Okay, this is simple. We just replace this here. So we do that and that. And now you should have this showing in the UI. And that's the basic proof that this is going to work. I mean, I didn't expect this to be super hard or anything. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. Nice. Okay. Now, who knows if it's actually working? Let's grant it at level 5. Level 5 is going to be very obvious. Because 5 is like 400%. So then we just need to unlock the garbage slime. And then we just need to see it get hungry really fast. Yeah, there. Okay, so let's try this out. Go build a building. Keep doing this until we finally get the garbage slime. There it is. All right, now we just look at its hunger. It should be increasing pretty quickly. Yeah. And if we feed it so that it's eaten everything it can eat, it should be like shooting upward, right? Yeah. Any indication on what's causing the issue? Is it just the C# LSP? I assume you've tried looking at extension. No, I haven't done anything. I've just complained about it. The problem is every single time it happens, I'm already in the middle of a task, and then I just never look into it. Hey, Weasley. How you doing? Okay, cool. This is working. All right. So, is it time to wake up, Katso? Is it, Abby? She's so serene. Hey, Ninja Link. Not so bad yourself? Well, that's good to hear. I'm doing pretty well. I've been working on this thing called challenge mode for probably like 5 or 6 weeks at this point. And whenever you make a V1 of something, if you can even call it a V1, in my case, maybe it's like a V0.5. Whenever you make a V1 of something, it's probably going to be rough around the edges. And it was. And I hope what we're doing is improving it. Hey, Becca. Haven't had these issues. I wonder what's different between our setups. Interesting that you haven't. I probably should look through the various output here. This is at 850, which is probably what caused this. Resolve version does not match current version. Code lens resolve handler. I wonder if that's all that's happening here. Let's copy this. What else do we have here? Anything that looks like there are errors? This is why I didn't do this, by the way, because there's like a million different things I can look through here. And I didn't know if they get cleared out when I reload VS Code or what. I don't think these other ones probably matter. No, maybe it's just that. And then what did I have this set to originally? Terminal? No. What did I have this set to? Window? Maybe AI is breaking stuff? It's possible. What was this set to originally? I don't know what this was set to. Okay, well, let's look this up. Resolve version does not match current version. Randomly error and shut down. Closed. What did they say at the bottom of this? Just publish this. We should fix the error. This sounds like something that Rosalind had to fix. I wonder if I'm having this from something else. Disable source link feature by unchecking navigate to source link and embedded sources. Stops working mid-session. Closes not planned. This error is innocuous and won't cause failures. Oh, that's too bad. This is the likely cause of the issues. Will cause the server to crash and is a duplicate of this. We should be releasing a fix soon. Well, this was in September of last year. And this is the issue I already came across. Do I need to update the version of something? I mean, this does have an update, but what am I on right now? Where's the current version? Where do you see the current version? Last updated? Oh my God. Oh no. I mean, they said they fixed this in September, and I have the version from November. But man, I thought this stuff auto updated. Whoa, there's a checkbox for it, and I have it off. Okay, well, that's why I thought it auto updated. I still want to see what version I'm currently on. God, if that's all this took. What a shame. Where do you see the current version, though? That's the problem. I see this update here, but it doesn't seem to say what I'm currently on. Huh. 25529. Oh, here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, let's click auto update here. Oh, man. I can't believe that. I don't know why I would have turned this off. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think there was some other issue where we needed to go back to an old version to fix it. This version is so last year. Yeah, what else do we have here? This is set to auto update. I'm guessing every single other extension I have is set to auto update. Not that any of these even have to do with C# except for that one. Yeah, every single other extension is set to auto update except for that one. Like I said, I must have hit an issue where I had to go back to an old version and then I just forgot about it because I never turn that off. Yep, every single other extension I have is on auto update. Wow, look at that. All right, well, let's restart this and maybe it'll just never happen again. I can't believe this. I just can't believe this. If this magically works, maybe it'll be even better now. Oh my god. All right, I feel like I should give Magnetic Bind a point. Not because people haven't tried that in the past, but because I finally did it because of what Magnetic Bind said now. So sorry to everyone else who suggested me look into that. Hey Codex, hey Nixon. We're gonna lump that under user error. Yeah, except for like I said, the likely reason for why I would have turned off auto update. Okay, hold on. Cat, you need to go. Please, cat. Please. I need my lap back. Come on, Abby. Oh, I feel so bad. It's like I'm trying to dump her in a lava or something. She's trying to get back onto my lap. Come on, Abby. No, not that way. Abby, good girl. Good cat. Oh. Oh, she looks so perturbed. I'm sorry. It's a beautiful color. That's one comfy cat. Yeah, Abby's a very pretty cat. Look at that little creature. Do I have any other photos I can share? I have this one. Let me share this one. I think I was beneath her with a toy. I just love her face. It's illegal to move a cat. I know. I have to violate the law sometimes. Hey, dead robot. Oh man. Okay, what was I doing? I hopefully fixed this issue. And now we need to convert this into a shared class. Before we do that, I want to think of how we'll code these other ones. Because I had some ideas here. Where are the ideas? Here. All right, start with an ability. Yeah, so let's say we had something like that. Like the cleric starts with, I don't know, some battle ability. I guess what we do is we would make some like meta perk granting battle ability for class. And then we would just say like adventurer class equals cleric and ability equals whatever, some ability. And probably level equals 1. Yeah, I guess so. All right, so fine. I guess all these categories are going to have their own special thing. Anything else? So you'll now be offered some perk. Yeah, you'll be offered some perk mid-run. Allow perk to show up. And again, we probably have the ability ID in the run. Maybe there'd be a condition for this. So they're all just going to be bundles of parameters. Anything that doesn't fit that for some reason. Maybe these, because they're just one-offs. This isn't really a category, right? But in this case, we would just check if you have this ability, then adventurers ++ or something. So yeah, I don't think any of this is going to be all that difficult. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be difficult. All right, then let's go look at that ability I just made again. By the way, I do want to take breaks today. I like totally barreled through it yesterday, but right now it's been about 40 minutes of uptime. So at about the hour mark, I want to take a break or whenever the task is done. And then we move on to other tasks. So where is this thing that I just added? What's it called? Grant increased appetite. Anything unique about this or anything special that I should just delete? Oh, wait a second. Can I look at that again? What does this say? The garbage slime gets hungry faster. Yeah, that's probably fine. All right, what else do we have here? So we have some localized text. We can't get around that. We have the tooltip, and we have some other basic data. Yeah, I think this should be pretty easy. What else inherits from player ability? If I just do this, and then I search for this, and I do one of these, are any of these generic? No. How is that possible? Didn't I add one of those? Well, it could be one of these. Yeah, dud perk. I guess anything that's multiple lines we have to look at. Player ability, more warehouse. Oh, there it is. Trade-off ability. Yeah. I knew I had done this somewhere. Okay, so we're gonna save this somewhere. Oh, I also need to fix the namespace. I hadn't even thought of that. This is player skills. This isn't even correct anymore. It's meta perks. Which means I might have broken something else too now. Town challenge mode functions. It's gonna say can't find this anymore. It doesn't need to know it. Interesting. No, yeah, it doesn't need to know it. Huh, interesting. Okay. What did I call that thing? I just said, oh, trade-off ability. Yeah, we're gonna save this in base, and we're gonna call it meta perk granting perk. Is that correct? It is a meta perk, and it grants a perk. Yeah, sure, whatever. That's good enough for now. Meta perk granting perk. All right, summary of this. This represents a meta perk which grants a regular perk at the start of the run. For example, perhaps the meta perk is grants increased appetite level 1. Then the perk would obviously be increased appetite. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, this is pretty much the same. Trade-off ability. Okay, so all this gets deleted. And the important thing that we're going to need here, let's close every other tab that I have open because this is nuts right now. Grant increased appetite. The important thing that I need is the ability we're going to grant and the level we're going to grant it at. And that's pretty much it. So how do we want to set this? Because what we could do is we could modify player ability data to be like meta perk granting perk ability data. And it's got the 2 extra pieces of information in there. I think that makes sense. I don't like doing this. Meta perk. Actually, could I just put this alongside meta perk granting perk? Probably. Meta perk granting perk ability data. So what we could do is we could put a player ability data. And then the only other 2 things we need here are ability ID, perk to grant, and an integer perk level or level to grant at, something like that. And this inherits from player ability data, but in kind of a stupid way. Oh, man. Maybe we should have it taken all the individual parameters. I think I probably prefer that. No, I don't prefer that. Yeah, but we need to pass in all of these things. All right, let's do it. Player ability data dot ID and all that stuff. And that's it, actually. I think we're kind of done there. So then we take this in and we say data.player ability data. This isn't right. What am I doing? This can't inherit from and have an ability data. We would just delete this thing, wouldn't we? Yeah. That makes it a lot easier. Okay. Next, we need this thing to pass in. Shouldn't this know that it's a problem at this point? It should know, and it doesn't. If I try building this, does it error? It should produce an error. Should tell me that these types don't match. It did not. Something's wrong. What is going on? Oh, because this inherits from the wrong thing. Now it's got to be meta perk granting perk. Now it'll be a type error. Yep. So now this needs to be this. This stuff needs to all be into a new player ability data. And then we just pass in the perk to grant and the level to grant it at. Okay. There we go. So now this stuff all gets moved into here. We take in an abilities component. We make a new one of these things. We get rid of this stuff. This will be data dot. Why is data not there? Lowercase data? Yeah. Oh, now the description. Drat. What do we need for this? Man. We got to pass in the description string. Man. Yeah. Which is really a function that, how do you even do this? I want to get whatever this thing is, which I just deleted. All right, what is this? It is a function that takes in a base ability tooltip. I don't know if you can pass a function type that specifies the parameter name because I want to make sure that it's this. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, who cares about the parameter name? We just assume that it's the first parameter. So this isn't going to be, oh, this is going to be override string. We need to, hang on a second. We need to pass in through data a function of how to get, how do you do this? It returns a string. So isn't it like capitalized func? And we take in a string. It's an object technically. That is a mess. Get description function. All right. Now we try to pass that in. And then we just call the get description function here and get rid of that and get that from data. Hey, I think we did it. Yeah, now we just delete this whole thing. And that. Does it work? I'm no longer printing it, so it's hard to tell. Testeroni.get tooltip. I'll be pretty impressed if this works. I will pat myself on the back. Okay, so let's take a look. The only way to know if it worked is by copying this text. I mean, it looks like it did so far. So we're going to delete everything, paste it in. Yeah, nice. Wow, good job. Go me. All right, it's not clear from what I just did why this is so nice. But the reason why it's nice is because now any ability that grants another ability can be defined with just a whole bunch of parameters and no special logic. So there's no logic here whatsoever. It's just grant this level of a thing. So then we got to change this code. So what we do is we go through each ability that you have How do we do this? Abilities, components. How do we store these things? It's a base ability. Okay, so for each meta perk granting perk in this of type, we don't check anything. We just grant you the thing. So this is going to be the meta perk granting perk dot data. We don't have this, do we? No, I have no way of obtaining that information. Well, it should be easy enough to get. Because there are only 3 things, right? Perk level, perk to grant, and then the description. So we do public ability ID. Yeah. Perk to grant. And then same thing with the level. Perk level. And then just pull those things in from over here. Perk to grant. Perk granting perk dot perk level. And then delete this. Whew. All right. Let's go try it. It should grant us level 1 of increased appetite. And we can just press P to see this. Yep, there it is. And if I change this, I mean, this is pretty easy to test. So if I change this to level 3, let's say, then it should give us the right level of that. Is athletics. Nice. Okay, now there's one tiny issue. This says start each run with level something of increased appetite, but the something here is not pulled in from this. But that's okay. I don't care about that. There's one other problem though. Oh man. So the way this is gonna work is you're gonna have some perk table or perk choice, meta perk choice, where you can get multiple levels of this thing. And then I don't know what the tooltip is gonna look like. So remember, if I just take a picture of this, like this part at the top, this is the meta perk, and this part at the bottom is the perk. And then this is the perk. The meta perk is currently only 1 level, but it could be multiple levels. And if it's multiple levels, you'd want to know how many levels there are. And I don't want to show 2 tables in this thing. I wonder if there's a... I don't know how else we could do this. I mean, we could like stack 2 tooltips side by side or something. This is a UI problem I'm trying to solve, and we don't even have UI yet. So it's probably a little premature for this. I guess you could... I guess you could just sort of understand that this isn't maxed out yet because there are more levels here. But what if we don't let you get to the highest levels? You wouldn't know where we end. Like, you obviously can tell you can get level 1, but what if we set the max level to 3 here, and then you have to get the remaining 2 levels through the game itself? I guess we could put some extra text here. Start each run with level 1, increased appetite. Increase the level of this to eventually get up to level 3 or something like that. Yeah, I guess we could figure that out. Yeah, let's not worry about it for right now. All right, so we have coded the ability for this to be possible, but there's no UI for you to add this stuff yet. And this is all just in this function. So what we're going to do is we're going to say debug grant meta perks. And then we're going to say apply meta perks. Then we're going to make our debug grant meta perks function is going to be this. And then our apply meta perks function is going to be this. Meta perks doesn't exist. All right, so this function needs to get deleted. Delete me. We also need a new branch. I'm just not going to bother deleting old branches. And then at the bottom of all this stuff, let's write final stuff. Merge, branch, switch to main. What else we need to do? Clean up to-do items. That should be the only to-do item in the entire code, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is delete me once we have UI to choose meta perks. We don't need this printing out every time either. We actually technically don't need this then, do we? So I guess our debug function is literally just one line of code. This doesn't technically need to exist. Yeah, wow, neat. Probably nice to have this entire thing get data driven too. But yeah. All right, so is that the whole task? Add the ability to have meta perks before having the UI. Just make it so that there are a couple that you can modify your run. A couple that can modify your run. Maybe they make you start with certain perks. I guess the way this would work is you have an abilities component from challenge mode that gets used when setting up a new run. Yep. And then refactor this out. So I think we've done all of this, except that I haven't done the couple part of this. I only did one. But I think adding another one is trivially easy so that we shouldn't waste time right now. I should probably just move on. This is exciting. This is very exciting. Yeah. Okay. Let's go check it in. Let's have a look-see at whether the code is decent. This represents a meta perk, which grants a regular perk at the start of the run. For example, perhaps a meta perk is grants increased appetite. Then the perk would obviously be this. Cool. Intentionally do not support cloning yet. Yep. This is fine. That's just for tooltips. Tooltip will always work. What are we passing? We're ignoring the abilities component that's here. Could we put an underscore for that? No, we can't do that because we're cloning what you currently have. But this is always going to be a meta abilities component. These are your meta perks. Oh man. I guess create with single ability at higher level. It's cloning for no reason. Your meta perks can't have perks in them, right? Oh god, let me think about this. No, I don't think they can. Because this, imagine if we didn't show you this top part here. Imagine if all you could see is this increased appetite, that garbage slime gets hungry faster. You'd be like, what am I upgrading here? Like, I'm not even in a run. There's no hunger bonus. So it'd have to be that we're giving you that. So we need to tell you that we're giving you that, which means that this is pointless, which means that this function is pointless. And then what we really need to do is not clone an ability. Okay. So then why do we do this for town perk choice? Because we need to increase the level of this. Okay. So this isn't really create with, this is clone with. And then we need to make a create with here. Create with single ability. What is the point of this? Like I say ability ID and I say level. I'm guessing there's another place for this in the code that I just never considered. So now we copy this, but this isn't even how this works. This doesn't need to be cloned. This just needs to be make the ability. And it happens to be a player ability here, which is especially stupid. This should all just be base abilities, right? Which means this isn't needed. And this isn't needed. Which I guess kind of means the same thing over here. So base ability equals create it, and then set the level, and then just make a new thing out of it. Yeah, that's it. Okie dokie. Now we go put this in here. And we don't pass in the abilities component, which means that now this can have an underscore there. These are technically meta perks. I don't think you can change the name of this because it's overriding a function. So it's going to say, yeah, rename parameter to match the base class. You probably could, but I'm just going to do this. Oh, actually, that'll fail too, won't it? Oh. All right. Well, I'm not totally sure what I want to do for that then. So now what do we have here? Create an abilities component with the ability, then get that ability, which we just created, and then get the tooltip for it. Yeah, pretty reasonable. All right, now what about this? This is all new. This is fine. This is fine. This now has meta perks. This is fine. This is weird. I think it's okay. It's just hardly simplifying the code. Yeah. Oh, right. It was see where else we could use this. Okay, I'll need to look at that. And then this is all good too. Okay, so then we just need to find out where we can use this thing. So if I search for level equals level, what do we have? That's bizarre. Oh man, what is going on right now? What happened? I don't know what that was. This stuff's all fine. This set ability level? What are we doing here? If the ability is null, create it, add it, set the level. Okay, that's all fine. What's this? Reflect skills perk? Hey, Smack. Get ability, throw if null, set its level. Okay, sure. All right, I mean, all this stuff seems pretty reasonable. Yeah, it does. So now why is this red? Oh, it's a preview of what's going to get replaced? Oh, I didn't even realize that existed. Yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape then. Wow, neat. Guess what? I started working on a game. What kind of game? Add the ability to have meta perks. There's only one so far, and we add it by default just for the sake of testing. But you now have the ability to have meta perks which grant perks at the start of the run. PvP auto battler WW2 themed. Wow, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think as far as theme and setting go, there's some games I've just never really gotten into, or some themes and settings I've never really gotten into. And like realistic war game is not really something I've come close to. I guess the closest, and they're not realistic, Soldat and Battle Tanks. Those are the games I liked that are kind of sort of in that environment. Battle Tanks has a capital T apparently. And they're not really in that environment anyway. If I search for a Soldat game and we look at the images, it's still kind of cartoonish. Imagine if I'm like Worms. Worms is just like World War II. Started a prototype in TypeScript for fast iteration, porting Unity when there's a good core. I would recommend starting in a game engine. I think you will find that it's going to improve your future prototyping skills in the game engine, and that you'll probably move faster than you would in TypeScript. The nice thing about an auto battler is that the PvP aspect of it is easier to prevent cheating than a real-time game, because all of the rules are very straightforward and don't involve input from the player, or whatever input was like done at the beginning. I guess it all depends on what kind of auto battle you're making, because maybe you could modify things throughout, but still having it run on the server should be pretty simple. All right, make it so there are a couple of modifier run. Yeah, so all this stuff is done. Done. Did I check in? I did check in. Let's publish this. Okay, and that brings us pretty smoothly to just over an hour. I will... Yeah, I'll take my break now. And then we'll work on this stuff. Like I said, this is exciting. I'm super happy to be working on this. Is it jump time? It's jump time. All right, I say this every once in a while, but for those new here, you can type join in Twitch chat and then J and a number to jump. Try to get to the top. I will be back in a couple of minutes, and the ads are going to start anyway, so yeah, you won't be able to play if you're not subscribed again. See you soon. All right, hello again. Hope you all had fun. Close the game. Okay, so now revamp specs and difficulty with the challenge track. There's a level presented, and each one has all the constraints from all prior levels except for level 0, which is special. Level 0 has a much lower money objective. No way to lose, it's just to explore. Maybe I think Abby's chittering at some crows. Maybe revamp the text at the end, at the start of the new challenge screen, change the in-game UI, show the latest 3 constraints. Note, you may not have 3 constraints if you're on a level less than or equal to 2. Yeah. Remove specializations, change how winning works, add UI. This is definitely the hardest thing we're gonna have to do. Well, no, sorry. Adding content's also pretty hard, but it's hard for a different reason. It's not technically hard. It's game design hard. Then saving's going to be a little bit tough. Metrics might be interesting. Yeah, nice. You won with ads? Wow, good job. Tiny window win. Okay, so we need a UI for this. And all that we really need is a level. And when it's level 0, I guess we could have a plus button next to it. And whenever it's graded, well, I guess we could always have the minus button and just disable it or something. So like, here's the simplest UI we could probably go with. And it's maybe a little bit hard to see because of the color of emojis in this thing, but there's plus and minus buttons next to it. So, you know, imagine these are inside button elements. So yeah, there's a level and you can increase and you can decrease it. Maybe make it so left clicking and right clicking will also increase and decrease it. I'll write that down as an idea because I think it's kind of nice. Idea, left click to increase the level, right click to decrease it. This is how perks work in the game already, or skills in regular mode. You can right click to decrease the level. Anyway, this is the simplest possible way I think we can do this, or like a spinner or something, but it's a really simple element. And then we need something that's going to show you what the constraints are, or like the new, probably wouldn't call it a new constraint. So let's say something like, I don't know, plus 10% enemy strength. And then if level is greater than 1, also applies all difficulty modifiers from prior levels. What did I use to make the jumping game? The whole repo is public, so you can see. It was Godot though, and probably C#. I actually don't remember. Source, yeah, C#, yeah. Yeah, this is pretty much it. I don't think this is that bad. Let's go take a look. So we're going to replace this entire section. We're going to replace this section. So choose a difficulty. Let's go modify that. There's new challenge run. We're going to revamp all of this code. So there's a difficulty choices section. And it says hover for details. And even the specialization itself and just the layout of this UI. Okay, so we need to do some more UI design. It's not just that we're revamping the difficulty. It's like we need to show this information somewhere. And I don't want to show all 20 of these levels. So what do we want to show? This stuff at the top is just there for playtesters. And I think all of that can stay. So yeah, really we're just gonna have a level and start a new run. And we just delete all of this stuff. Yeah, I guess so. Hi again, cat. Wanna come sit down? Yeah. Good cat, so. Good cat, so. Okay. She's licking my arm. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have a level thing here. All right, well then let's just delete this and delete this. Oh my God, that hurts. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. It's like 5 licks until you're tearing away skin. No, 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 no. She's not gonna stop licking. She doesn't care. She got no respect for me. All right, so this VBox container has nothing in it now. Yeah. So let's add in a rich, I don't know actually. What do we have for this? This is the thing that says choose a difficulty. Ow, cat. Come on. She does not care. All right, I want this. Wait, this still exists? Why is this an HBox container? This doesn't even need to exist. We can delete that whole thing too. We can just make a new label under here. And this one can say, yeah, choose a difficulty level. And then we have our difficulty level selector right beneath it. All right, so how do I want to do that? In an HBox container. And then underneath this, we have a button. I'm just mocking this up for now, so this might not look great. This will say minus. Then we have a plus button. And in between, we have a label that says what level you're currently on. Why is it not showing up? Because of that. Because of that. Because of that. I'm not sure why this isn't showing up. Oh, word wrapping? There we go. And then I guess center this, but I don't know how to vertically center it. There we go. Nice. Okay. So something like this is probably the simplest thing we can do. Again, I know this UI looks terrible, but this will at least work. This VBox container probably has a lot of, yeah, separation. I don't want that. We could get rid of that. So choose a difficulty level. And then what we need to say is what this difficulty level does. And what did I say here? Level changes. I don't like that. I was going to say something here like, you know, plus 10% enemy strength. But every level is just going to have one change. So it could just say plus 10% enemy strength. But then that's not going to be obvious to people who've never played this before and don't know what's going on. Also, level 0 is not going to be anything special. Level 0 is in fact going to, well, sorry, it will be special. It won't be difficult. It's going to be just the tutorial. Choose a difficulty level. Maybe you could see every single constraint that's there when you hover over it. I think a tooltip with 20 items is going to be very tall. It could say hover over the level for details. Because all this text is going to eventually be deleted. Or maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be replaced with some explanatory like, we're testing your business optimization. Yeah, I don't know what to say here. Level. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Also, ideally, we would do this in such a way that level 0 isn't really special. The level 1 is just a tutorial by virtue of being a tutorial. So we could say like the objective is get 1500 gold. And then level 2 could say the objective increases to 5000 gold. Maybe there are multiple changes per level. Objective increases to 5000 gold and enemy strength plus 10%. It'd be nice if we didn't touch the objective. Whoa, green screen is glitching out. All right, I do need to think about this some more. Sorry, I thought this would be mostly coding. I guess we do need to think about the game design and the UI design of this. So I want there to be a tutorial level. It doesn't have to be part of the challenge track. If it's going to be part of it though, then it would be level 0 or 1. And if it's separate, then it's just separate. We could have some UI here like try practice run. Could have try practice run. This suggests that you need to practice. I think tutorial is maybe better. And maybe it is separate from the challenge track. And we start a specific run that has different constraints completely. I kind of like that idea. Choose a difficulty level. Or try a tutorial run. There could just be a tutorial button like right here. We could have a tutorial button. And this would be start new challenge run or start like level 0 run. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Start new business. Yeah, I kind of like having a tutorial button specifically for this. And then we put a tooltip on this that tells you what it's going to do. And then it still counts toward your progress. I guess we're going to have more UI here for picking things. Yeah. Placeholder. UI will eventually be here to let you choose meta perks. Hey, Wanakis. All right. So let's clean this up a little bit. This is just in between all these sections. Yeah. All right. So welcome to challenge mode. Ignore all that stuff. Ignore this. So choose a difficulty level. This could be in line with this. We could put the whole thing inside an HBox container. If we do that, I guess we need to turn this off and then center this. Yeah, that's not too bad. Is the font size different? It is. Why? Because this was copy pasted and has an overridden font size of 24? Okay. So we'd start you at level 1 at that point. And we would not have any special modifiers. Yeah, and then we need to keep track of what you've played before and know what the highest difficulty is. So need to be able to save, only let you go to one beyond the highest difficulty that you've beaten. Yeah. All right. Yeah, something like this, I guess. All right. So let's say this is lower or decrease difficulty button. This would be increase difficulty button. This is going to be the difficulty level label. All of these things are going to be selected uniquely. And then this is going to be the difficulty modifier text. That needs BB code. Level 1. Yeah, so this is decent. And then we should probably lower the size of this a little bit. No, I don't know. Whatever. Let's not worry about the UI too much. As long as it's functional for now, I think that's okay. And then the tutorial button we have, but I think it needs a tooltip on it. And we don't have a tooltip holder, do we? Did any of these? We had a hover for details. Where did that go? Where did that go? Tooltip. It's initialized with it being passed in. Okay, that's reasonable enough. So what if I add a tooltip on parent here? Do we have any of those? No, we don't. All right, instantiate tooltip on parent. Hey, Cruddlefish. Good afternoon. All right, so I'm just going to hit play, and we're going to hope there are no build errors, no runtime errors, and maybe that the tooltip shows up. I'd be pretty impressed by that third one. But the other one shouldn't be a problem because I just hid stuff. It's not like I deleted it. Is this disabled? Why is this gray or well, brown? Is it disabled? It is disabled. Oh. Okay. Well, now it's not disabled anymore. Does the tooltip show up? No, it doesn't. All right. I was reasonably certain that wouldn't have worked. But that's okay, Because we can just get this thing and call this something like tutorial tooltip or tutorial button tooltip. And then in ready, or I guess in init, we'll set this here. Yeah. All right, so tutorial button tooltip. This is get node. It is a tooltip on parent. Like that. Dot set tooltip. Tooltip? Where do you... There it is. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, that should fix the problem where the tooltip doesn't show up. It is just a placeholder, so when it does show up, it's going to say something like, this text will show. Yeah, it's going to literally say that. This text will show when you hover over the parent node. I got to stop having it put me right on that screen. Nice, there it is. All right, cool. So we need tooltips for probably everything here. These aren't going to do anything. I don't know why I'm clicking them. I know that they're not going to do anything. All right, where do we transition right into challenge mode? Skip title screen, false. Okay, so now it should put us on the title screen. Cool. And I should probably have it pop this thing open by default too. Title screen, challenge mode. Where's that? That's weird. Where is challenge mode? What did I call this thing? It's called challenge mode. This probably shows up in a million different spots though. There it is. What is this called? This is called new challenge mode button. I don't know how I couldn't find that. It's right there. What? Okay, hold on a second. I searched for challenge mode. Why didn't it show up? Oh, maybe it did? All right, well, I don't know. But we're going to fake call this button right here. Hey, Darkstorm. MacGyvering new features. Not MacGyvering this time, just making them. How you doing? All right, so why did I do that? Oh, yeah, to pop this up by default. Cool. Okay, so now we should probably make all this functional, which means making the plus and minus buttons work. Basic stuff. Make minus work, make plus work. What else? Make the tutorial button work. Make its, or like set its tooltip content. And yeah, okay, so let's go start that stuff. New challenge run screen. What is the problem here? Lambda can be simplified. Use implicitly typed. Is that what they mean by simplifying it? I don't like that. I like the explicit typing. Button tutorial. We're going to have to learn how to do this. How do we make a tutorial? All right, so start button, private button, decrease difficulty button. We need an increase difficulty button. We need to go fetch both of these things. Jumped into the seeding rabbit hole. Had 3 fun days of playing with PRNGs and fishing for God seeds in my game. Nice, 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 nice. So it's playable then? When do we get to play it? All right, so when you press this, we're going to change the difficulty. Plus equal decrease difficulty. And then same thing for increase. All right, so decrease difficulty. We need to keep track of a level somewhere. I guess this is going to be here. Yeah, I guess it's going to be here. So private int selected difficulty. This is going to break everything. I'll call it difficulty level for now, so it doesn't actually break everything, but it will break everything at some point. Hey, Sinistello, you excited for tomorrow? I write things down. So this is going to be math.clamp. Does that even exist? Yeah, it does. So we take the selected difficulty level and we clamp it to the minimum and the maximum. So let's make a public constant max difficulty level. I don't even have a maximum right now. It's non-existent, but let's set these things here. All right, so now clamp this between min and max. Do you have any major plans? That's decreased difficulty. Increased difficulty is pretty much the exact same thing. Cool. So those buttons should work. They don't update a label though. So we'll need a private void update difficulty label. So we need the label for this. Private rich text label. What do we call it? Difficulty, where are you? Difficulty level label. And then we need difficulty modifier. I guess we call this label as well. All right, get those things. And then update difficulty labels, I guess. Set this here and here. And then call this. So the difficulty level label is going to be equal to just that. And then the difficulty modifier label is going to say something like difficulty modifiers to do at level that. Okay. Boyfriend is going to make my favorite dinner by him, meatloaf and mashed potatoes. Probably hang out with friends, gaming all day. Nice, nice, nice. What games? I'm curious. And then I'll stop asking questions. It's not playable. Just replace everything that's random with a seeded PRNG ahead of time to not have to do this later. And there's no real game yet. Just been playing with optimal seeds. Oh, I see. Yeah, the other thing about testing randomness is that as a human testing randomness, you're not going to be testing like 1,000 runs, right? You're going to test like, I don't know, 10 or something maybe. And it's not representative of the player experience someone might have testing a different 10 runs. Because maybe you got lucky 10 times in a row, and maybe another person won't get lucky 10 times in a row. And yeah, you could come to the wrong conclusion there. So it's all about averages, but really it's all about game feel, right? So it's like, if it felt like there are too many power-ups in some runs and not enough in other runs, it's like, well, just probably need to tweak the random numbers for that stuff. All right, so I think I coded this, but I don't think I actually restarted. Let's go close out of this. And we need to disable these buttons correctly. I got to write that down. Disable minus and plus buttons based on the max difficulty. Or not the max difficulty, the current level. All right, so if I click this, yeah, nice. And we can't go beyond level 20? Yeah. I don't like that this is bumping this to the side. The way we would stop that is, I guess, by giving this a constant width. So we could just set its minimum size to, what is it right now? I don't think there'd be some like size measuring thing. Goes from 700 to like 775. So let's just set it to 100 and then center it. Isn't there a way to, yeah, there is a way to do this. What am I doing? Let's just set it to horizontally center. There we go. We got peak or liar's bar, and then we just struggle to figure something out if there are more than 4 people. Since I don't play all the shooter games. Have you played Soldat? Soldat's a lot of fun. Even though it's a shooter game, it's not like a super high skill ceiling shooter game. Or, well, it depends on how many of your friends have already played it, I guess. And it's also, I'm pretty sure, free. Yeah. I'll link this in chat. Oh, wait, that's, well, a link to the age check thing. Yeah, anyway, that's fun and it's free. And then there are a lot of other multiplayer games. I don't know if you play like golf with friends or something, but I don't find that as much fun. Out of 4 billion seeds, there are just like 80 that make you too overpowered, but that doesn't matter. Just 80 out of a billion or 4 billion. For now, people are going to find ways to break your game. Did I just click minus and have that thing get deleted? Oh, is it because I changed the width of this? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so the minus button and the plus button work. The tutorial button needs to do something. I guess let's start by setting its tooltip contents. New to challenge mode. This will teach you how to play in a I was gonna say like a pressure-free way. You will still earn reputation by completing the tutorial. We'll let you know next week if we play. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah. Could you just make a level 0 when it says tutorial instead of having its own button? I can. Yeah, I can. I was debating on this. Yeah, let's delete that. And let's set the minimum level to 0. And then make it so that, so delete this, I guess. Make level 0 act as the tutorial. All right, so the level should actually probably start at 0. And then we want to set the, I guess we don't technically need to set it equal to 0. It's going to start at 0. And then we need to set these buttons to be enabled or disabled correctly. So if selected difficulty level is less than or equal to 0, actually we could just do it this way, right? What is it? Decrease difficulty button dot disabled is that, and the increase button is disabled in that case. All right, easy peasy. So now this needs to get called at the very beginning after a init. And then we need to set up the tutorial stuff and everything else. So I think this part's done now. Let's go run that. All right, choose a difficulty level. Wait, why did it? What? Why did that start at 1? Wait, something's wrong. Yeah, something's wrong here. No, not found tutorial button tooltip. Oh, yeah. I was like, this isn't working. I always want to play with parallel loops. It was a good experiment. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I suspect anything that you end up doing there is going to be a big learning experience, which is, I think, something that's cool about game jams too. It's like you can try a different technique or something, or I don't know. If you look at it, a larger game like what you're working on right now is almost like a ton of small game jams. No, not really. That's not fair. I guess a game jam is completing like a full game every 2 days or 4 days. Okay, cool. So this stuff gets disabled and enabled correctly. And you're able to go down to level 0. So now we need some description of the difficulty. So here's what I'm going to do to make this kind of simple for right now. If the difficulty level is 0, we're going to say level 0 is the tutorial and is highly recommended for new players. The objective is lower. You still earn reputation in the tutorial, so give it a shot. One of those 10 games in one, yeah. All right, then we say difficulty modifiers to do, yeah. So if we just copy paste this into the editor, what is this going to look like? Because it'll probably look bad. No, that's not bad. As long as it word wraps. Yeah, nice. Okay, sure. Cool. So yeah, let's try that out. Oh my God. Click this. There we go. All right, level 0 is the tutorial and is highly recommended for new players. You still earn reputation in the tutorial, so give it a shot. Yeah. All right, and then after that, we've got to say what the specific level does. And we don't have any of those constraints yet. So let's just make an array of these for right now. String array fake mods equals. All right, so plus 10% enemy strength. Minus 10%. I'm just making things up, right? The game is harder, etc. All right, so we need to get the mod of the level that you're at. So string new mod, or like newest mod, equals fake mods dot get within bounds. Select the difficulty level -1. Is that correct? No, +1. No. Yeah, -1. Okay. And then we say we could just say the newest mod here. And then if selected difficulty level is greater than or equal to 2, or just greater than 1, we could say plus equal also something, 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 something. What are we supposed to say for this? I wrote it down somewhere. Hello, tab. There it is. Also applies all difficulty modifiers from previous levels. Or maybe difficulty modifiers from... Oh, that's fine. I like this. Okay, let's try that. We haven't actually done anything yet. This is all just UI that controls nothing. So level 0 is the tutorial level, is a tutorial and is highly recommended for new players. You still earn reputation in the tutorial, so give it a shot. Then you click plus, and it says enemy strength. Then it says -10% income. Also applies all difficulty modifiers from prior levels. The game is harder, etc. I just keep saying etc. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I'm thinking of keeping. And it's usable at the start, but I think, well, obviously this will get filled in with content here. And then maybe when you hover over new challenge run, it could show you everything. I am kind of curious. We don't have a tooltip for it at all, but I am kind of curious what it would look like to have a tooltip with 20 things inside of it. I guess we could just test it really easily, right? In start. Wait a second. Is that button disabled still? How is this enabled? How is that enabled? What would enable that? Oh, it's enabled by default. And it's ignoring whatever you're typing in here anyway. Yeah, so what I want to try out is what happens if we had the start button with a tooltip. Tooltip on parent. We call this start button tooltip. And we just say some like crazy amount of text. All right, here's a stupid thing. How do we do this? We say $1 previous +1. Wait, what is it? Underscore previous? I don't remember how this works. How does that work? VS Code eval. I'm taking longer to do this than I should be doing now at this point. This is a waste of my time. But there's some way to do previous. $ previous, yeah. Huh. That's weird. Why doesn't that work? Oh, now it works. Is it because I put these things right next to each other? All right, well, anyway, I want to do this for 20 lines. Like that. And we just select them all and do that and that. Cool. So line 1 through 20, we paste this into here. And then we, on new challenge run screen in init, we get... Oh, I mean, this took longer than my hand. Hey, Galaxy Inferno, how's your vacation going? Tooltip on parent. What is this called? Start button tooltip. Dot tooltip. Okay. This is going to be a very large tooltip. Honestly, not too bad. So the idea here was that if you wanted to see all 20 modifiers next to each other, you could. I don't know if you ever do. I don't think so. I think this is a waste of time. I think it's cool being able to quickly see them all like that. The reason I'm torn on this is because I don't know what they're going to be yet. So imagine if it says plus 10% enemy strength, and then another level says plus 10% enemy strength. You'll actually see them listed like that twice, when really shouldn't it combine them into like plus 20%? And then what if we do combine them? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Yeah, maybe I'm overthinking this. But we need to dynamically change this anyway. All right, let's keep it in for now and see how about showing exactly what the total modifiers are. I think we don't know for sure there's going to be a problem for this yet because I don't know what the modifiers are going to be. So for now, how about let's leave it in and see if people are like, oh, that's scary. So what is this? Tooltip on parent, start button, tooltip. And then init modified this here. Yep, so this is equal to this. And then that we have there. This goes into ready. All right, so this will set the text equal to tutorial. I don't know what we want to say for this. Maybe we set it to nothing. String.empty. And then over here, we say what all the different modifiers are. Set this thing's text to all difficulty modifiers. And then I hate forming these strings because I got to think of how we're going to do this. It's like UL and then all the different text that we have. And then that. This could be made better, but I think it should work at least. Let's go try it. They'll look different on a high-res laptop screen. I always need to mess with the UI scale when I play on my Mac. I think as long as this is visible, it's okay to me. Ooh, that's not good. This is not supposed to have list item here. It's just a new line. So put all the different mods. And then I guess that's it. Okay. This is delete the bullet point. Actually, the bullet point might be needed because not all of them are going to start with a plus or a minus. They might say something like enemies are harder. The currently challenge mode start window is already out of bounds as soon as I go up to 1.4. And that's without any tooltips. That might be outside the main challenge mode window. So there's definitely going to be a point where the game scale like ruins things for you. I guess if I just shrink the screen, we'll see this happen. So I guess there is some amount of like, we do need to add in, scrolling. Also, I missed your response. Good. Seeded new lawn that just finally showed its first tips, and now I'm lazing around, napping and gaming. Sounds good. Hey again, Meridio. Yeah. Well, okay. So I think this is decent. Let's keep this for now. And maybe we should even say what level you get this mod at. That might be best. That way we get rid of the bullet point and then have this. Oh, this should be I. Except for this shouldn't be I. This should be I plus 1. Right? Yeah. What? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I like that. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, nice. Okay. So then what we should write here is probably like newest difficulty modifier. Where is that? Here. Newest difficulty modifier. Or difficulty modifier introduced. I don't know, something like this. Again, I'm probably spending too long on trying to make sure this looks good when it already doesn't look great. It's passable. Sorry, cancel. Yeah, this is passable. It bounces the UI around, which I don't like, but whatever. Okay, so have we done everything I need to do here? Make level 0 access the tutorial. We need to actually make the tutorial. I guess I got to write that down at some point. Make the tutorial work correctly. Should probably have some custom logic to lower the objective. There's a level presented. Each one has constraints from all prior levels. Oh yeah, also tips are on. There's no real time limit, etc. Oh, cat, please, please go away. I love you so much. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. All right, so make tips work. Tip system tips work. Goodbye, Abby. Revamp the text of the star. I don't think we need to do this. Left click to increase the level, right click to decrease. I think that'd be nice. I think that's like a polish thing we can do later. So I'll write this in the polish section that we have. When picking the challenge mode difficulty level, allow for left and right clicking to increase or decrease the level. All right, what else? Change the in-game UI so we show the latest 3 constraints. It'd be too much to show 20 plus levels. You may not have 3 constraints if you're on listening to level 2. Are you moving specs? Yeah. All right. So still none of this works. I guess remove the old difficulty levels too. Remove the old difficulty levels. Which means all of the challenge mode data that we have is going to be deleted. Yeah, all of this stuff. Oh, man. I wonder if the time limit should always be the same. Well, time limits, there aren't limits anymore. I guess it's more like time tiers. I guess we'll just figure that out with playtesting. I still think there's always a question of what is the optimal length for a winning run. And every other roguelike pretty much that's popular is somewhere in the 30 to 60 minute range. I looked up like 10 different games and tried to find out what their average run length is when you win. So anyway, we got to probably still aim within that. So maybe we set like 35 minutes is the gold time, and then 40 minutes is the silver time. 45 minutes is bronze. And greater than 45 minutes is the participation award time. That's probably a reasonable start. So I need to think of how we're manifesting this. What's in here? Gold objective, time limit, constraints. So we're just going to have a list of 20 of these now. And it's not going to be by specialization ID. All this stuff is going to get deleted. God, I've said this a bunch of times on the stream, but The one time I feel bad about deleting code is when it all worked and you're just like, yeah, we don't need it anymore. Like if we kept specializations, this code would have been great. We would have needed this stuff. I mean, this isn't really code. This is just a dictionary, but we would have needed all the code around this stuff. But yeah, it turns out we don't. Specialization ID. What else do we need? All challenge mode specialization data. Just have an array of, what is it called? Difficulty data? Yeah, difficulty data. Yeah. Should I do all this stuff still? Replace the etc. array that I made. Move the old difficulty levels, do that stuff. Yeah, sure. This should all just be one commit, I guess. All right, well, I think we can get this stuff done in the next hour. Then this, change how winning works. How is this stuff going to happen? Allow for getting medals. Oh yeah, what should medals be? I was actually thinking of making them into bones. You get like a gold bone, a silver bone, and a bronze bone. And then a wooden bone? I don't know. An actual literal bone. Because they're not currency. It's just like a badge that you won. The other thing I was thinking is it could be like a golden version of your character. So imagine, well, just imagine this guy, right? You get a little cartoon badge that's golden or that's silver, that's bronze. Anyway, I don't have any great ideas there, but you know what? I just realized we might have some graphics for this stuff on Super Retro World. Let me go take a look at that. What is going on here? Open a new tab. Okay, so here's all the stuff we had. Are any of these like something we could use for badges? Oh, the gems could kind of work here. You can't zoom in on this, right? We could use gems for now. Although these don't immediately shout which one is better than the other ones when you look at this. Like, is green the best one? Is red the best one? Whereas gold, silver, and bronze are pretty obvious. I'll look through these quickly and we'll see if there's anything obvious here. If not, that's okay. I think graphics like this should be reasonably easy to make. Exterior pack. Like, I wouldn't expect there to be anything in here that's going to help us. But you never know. Gigantic tree pack. No, I don't see anything. Just put various mushrooms there. Oh, you know what? We could actually, it could be based on, right, you can't increase this. It could be based on like the town that you make. So we could have like town, castle, and super castle as the badges. I don't like that, I think. Is there anything that looks like it might have worked? No, I don't think so. All right, I'm wasting my time, aren't I? Yeah, probably. All right, that's fine. All right, prevent losing, change the winning screen. Yeah, so I think we can get done with all of this stuff today. And then this stuff we'd have to start working on next week. But yeah, we could probably reasonably launch something on like a week from today. Because there's not that much stuff here. But don't hold me to that. All right, I'm going to take another break and then we're going to come back and fix up these things. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello. Hey, Clock. Hey, Raimu. How's it going? And hey, Wicked EV. Okay, yeah, close the game. Just want to look through chat. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Hey, who cares? Welcome back. Thank you. Yeah, I spent some time still working on Skeleseller even while I was, quote unquote on break. But I just didn't want to be coding and I didn't want to be streaming. And I'm pretty happy with all the changes that we decided. For those who haven't heard and don't know the context of this, I try to make as short a document as possible. So this is the entire thing. And it's just here's what happened and then here's what we did to fix it. And we haven't actually coded any of this yet. And that's what we're doing today. And we can even shrink this document a little bit by doing little things like that. Yeah. The 3 shields around bottom left you could use for metals now. We'll probably just end up making new graphics that feel like proper metals. The other thing too is I don't know where I'm going to even render those. I realize I need to do that, I guess, at some point, huh? So we could write polish, show metals that you've earned when selecting a difficulty. Yeah. Been a hot minute. It has been. All right. So where I left off was right here. Remove specializations. Oh, this is going to pain me to do. It's going to pain me. We're going to delete all this. Oh, man. Fine, they're gone. Now, anywhere that we use specialization ID, we need to delete, which is going to be all over the place. Yeah, and we need to delete the UI, which is also going to cause a bunch of problems. So pretty much this entire set of things here, like specialization choices, difficulty choices, we need to find all of these things and remove them. They should just cause errors by not having them. What's this VBox container? What is this? Oh, that's over there. Oh man, oh that's gonna go away too. Okay, fine, just delete it all. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye, code. Goodbye. All right, now we delete all of this stuff. Oh my goodness. This feels so bad. Yeah, this feels really bad. Do I save anything in here? Validate data. Validate to have all the keys. Get this stuff. Start with 2 extra adventures. All starting adventures get 3 free battle perks. This stuff doesn't even exist anymore. How did that even happen? Oh, it was hard-coded. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we could just delete this entire file. And when it comes to recreating these, it shouldn't be that hard to do. Yeah, fine. Let's do it. Buy even more code. All right, so the concept of a selected specialization ID now no longer exists. So when making one of these things, it's just going to be an integer for selected difficulty. So this doesn't exist. This gets deleted. The constraints need to be pulled from difficulty data. But we don't have that now. This is going to be broken for quite some time. Yeah. Well, let's move on from there. So challenge mode configuration, delete this. Selected difficulty is going to be 1. What other things do we have here? Specialization setup. So all of these functions are going to go away. All right. Then this doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. Oh, interesting. We show you which perks you got as a result. Oh, interesting. Should you be told this because you're the one who would have picked them? So as an example here, imagine that you have a large perk tree here and, well, not a tree, I guess, just like a perk shop. So anyway, all these are different perks, right? You pick which ones of these you want. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to go with this one and this one. So you probably don't need a message at the beginning of the game saying you were granted perks 1 and 3, right? Because you chose them. You presumably know what you chose. And that's what this message used to do, is that you wouldn't necessarily know what you chose. You just know, hey, I picked the farm, for example. And it came with 5 perks, and now you could see what those are. Oh man, this thing, show message about chosen perks. I guess if we ever give you random perks, you might still want to know this. I think I'm going to just go copy a link to the code that we have for right now. What is this? This is town challenge mode function. Okay, copy path. Let's get just this. Type this into GitHub and get a link to this canonical link. And just save this somewhere. I don't know, maybe in our deleted code. Granting perks from specializations at the beginning of challenge mode. This file contains code that would tell you which perks were given to you at the beginning of a challenge run. This was important because you didn't directly choose perks. You chose specializations, which conferred perks. Yeah, sure. Right, so now nothing's going to call this? Nope. Goodbye. So a set of specialization is a function that also doesn't need to exist. So much for small and often convinced. Yeah, deleting stuff makes it tough because you've got to unwind it from the entirety of the code base. Also, hey, Orange Ray. So set of specialization is now gone. And technically, all of these individual functions can also be gone. Like setup farming spec would grant you a perk. No, it would grant you the farm. Oh, I wonder if that should be a meta perk. Give you a building to start with, maybe the garbage slime. We got to be careful about what we do. Because if you eventually grant yourself, let's say like all 6 buildings, then you have no reason to ever build something because there are only 6 buildings. In fact, oh, you know what? I wonder. I didn't think about this. We could make the game harder at the beginning and then meta perks make it easier. I'm just going to write some ideas here. We could only start you with a potion shop, and I don't think that's fun though. Yeah, all right. My idea was, what if you start with only a potion shop, not the armor or weapon shops, and then you randomly get those options to build them. And the problems here are, one, they're the most desirable buildings, probably, because you otherwise can't sell those things. And I was thinking you get meta perks to start you with them. So like, what would the point be? And we could always decide to do this later. It wouldn't be that bad. But I don't think it's going to be fun. And I think if it's not fun, we shouldn't do it. So ignore that. All right, this also has code for how you grant. This also has code for how to grant buildings, perks, and what else? Adventurers and battle perks. And I'm deleting all of it. Oh, God. Oh, the pain. The pain. It hurts so much. All right, goodbye, code. Seed perks. I'm guessing this doesn't exist. Oh, you know what? Chaos should be I'm going to just write some ideas here. Chaos mode would be a fun challenge, a standalone challenge. All perks are chosen randomly, and you start with X random perks. See this resurrect some of this code being what here? Yeah. Yeah. I like this. I like this idea of standalone challenges. God, I've talked about this before, but for those who haven't heard of Infiniminer, it was essentially Minecraft with some extra stuff, and then Minecraft came around and it squashed all gaming goals that ever existed out there and made a ton of money. And I just always wonder, are we in an Infiniminer scenario? Like, am I circling some gem of an idea that I have too much dirt around and I don't realize that I can make this better? So the current context for that is we're going to have a challenge track, which is what you, if I still have this open, I can show it. Yeah, which is this. Like, you start at level 0 or level 1, depending on whether you want the tutorial, and then you work your way up this track, and it's just going to keep adding more and more difficulty modifiers. And then that's it. So, like, should I have more levels? Should I have more tracks? Should I have more standalone challenges? Do we need to, I don't know, whatever. We'll hopefully get some insight into that before we launch so that I don't shoot myself in the foot. All right, so where do we leave off with this? Selected specialization doesn't exist. What's all this stuff? Initialize the start button. Start button would make a new one of these. We don't need that anymore. There is no selected difficulty. Maybe we just ignore that for now. Yeah. So specializations, there aren't even buttons for these things. We go through each button and we set them up. That's not a thing anymore. Selected specialization, that's probably got to be deleted. Yep. Update start button state. I don't even think we need to do that anymore. Difficulty tooltip, selected challenge label. Is this function, does this even exist anymore? Probably not. Update difficulty tooltips. Selected difficulty. Update start button state. I just don't think this should be disabled by default. We should go into here and just change it. I'm playing Peglin and I just realized it's similar to Crucible if you want to look into that. Adding a modifier and they stack up as you beat each one. That idea is a good idea. And Slay the Spire did it. So I have played a game that has that concept. I think there are a lot of pros to it as well. If you have level 1 gives you just something X, and level 2 gives you X plus Y, and level 3 gives you X plus Y plus Z, and so on and so forth. Each level, you only need to remember one new thing, as opposed to if you just had bundles of like, okay, this one is A, B, and C, but this one is B, X, and Y, and this one is something else and something else. You'd be like, okay, what is this bundle of stuff? Like, what do I need to actually take from this? So by building up one at a time, I think that's really nice. The other thing too is you're not choosing what they are. You're just choosing, hey, I want it to be a little bit more difficult. And the game is providing that. So I'm not concerned about that concept. I guess what I'm more concerned about is like in Slay the Spire, there are 4 characters. So there are 4 challenge tracks if you want to look at it that way. Each character has level 1 to 20. So you really have 80 levels of difficulty. Well, sort of, I guess 80 levels. They're not all probably going to be that difficult depending on what you've beaten so far. But we're only going to have level 1 to 20. Although I think we should make it level 1 to 24 because you have 24 ribs. And it just fits the bone theme. That's only an extra 4 levels. Yeah, I don't know. Like I always say, gotta suss it out with playtesting, I guess. So buttons to difficulties, these aren't going to exist. Start button, make a new thing, call started run. First difficulty button isn't a thing. Get rid of that. This is still a thing? Yes, that's still a thing. Specialization string for end screen. Oh man, none of this is easy. We're deleting everything, aren't we? This is already an integer. This won't build. We're a long way off from it building. Selected specialization. That's not a thing anymore, right? Constraint string. All right, so difficulty data. We don't have this. So let's just return a new difficulty data that has, I don't know, 5,045. And what's the last thing we're even supposed to type in here? Some constraints? Nothing. There we go. Easy. Now what's the problem over here? All right, that's easy enough. All right, so now if I try building it, I'm guessing something's going to fail. I'm not going to try to figure it out. And it should be very easy to fix because it's going to be deleting more stuff. Yeah. So validate data, that doesn't exist anymore. What is this? Specialization value. And yeah, let's try rebuilding now. Did that even do anything? It didn't. It built. Does it work? Interesting. So if I pick level 9, does it say level 9 at the top? It does. And the other values are what I set them to. Okay. Interesting. So remove specializations. I guess we're done with that. Now we need to remove the difficulty levels. Okay, difficulty ID. Delete this. Just close every tab I have open. Difficulty ID. So anywhere that we had this is now going to be deleted. What is this? Challenge mode specialization data. This sounds pointless. It is pointless. Get display name. I don't think we need display names. I think when you have 3 difficulties or 5 difficulties, you can come up with display names. When you have 20, it's like, what are you going to have? Extra easy, moderately easy, easy, extra medium. So yeah, let's just delete that. Difficulty tooltips we don't need. This we don't need. This is not a thing. All right, so that should break a whole new set of stuff. So let's go find out what broke and then fix that. Nothing? What? Oh, that was easier than I thought. So what happens when you win? Business succeeded. Eventually this will unlock the next difficulty level. Time, money, specialization is still showing up. Let's delete that. End challenge. Specialization. Delete. I guess we should just search for specialization and get rid of the rest of those. Why is that still there? Because I forgot to say it. Never coded this placeholder constraint. Okay, we're gonna have to get rid of that too. Chaos specialization per count. This is now not used anymore. And this shouldn't exist either. Technically no constraints are used. We could keep this. Finished making them. Yeah, we could keep this. I think it's important to have a placeholder. And I'll write this down. Let's fill them with this. And fill the remaining slots with that. All right, what else? Anywhere that the word specialization shows up now? No, just in my deleted code section, which is fine. What about difficulty ID? What about get display name for that thing? I guess we don't do that. Might as well run .NET format. Yeah, I expected this. A whole bunch of using directives that we don't need. Can I click this? Yeah. It'd be nice if it could just fix them for me. Because now I gotta go through and do this everywhere. Oh, well, at least it doesn't take long. any other ones. This and then new challenge run screen. I already apparently deleted these. It thinks I deleted this too. I don't remember clicking that. Complete the task with the to-do. Remove unnecessary Boolean literal. Wow, it auto-fixed that? I did not want that to happen. Yeah, this is supposed to say false and feature flags.is debug. I mean, either way, I should know not to check this in, but this makes it very clear that I am not supposed to check this in. All right, so where do we leave off of this? Remove difficulty levels. So now just have an array of difficulty data. So right now we coded an etc. somewhere. Where art thou, etc.? Yeah, here. So this is fake mod. So we need real difficulty modifiers. Which means we need real difficulty data. I wonder where that should be. I also wonder what it should look like. Because we're going to need to pull this information from a lot of different spots, right? Maybe I should resurrect some of the code that I deleted. Like this should be named all challenge mode difficulty data. Yeah, probably. Why is it partial? Oh, because of localization? Yeah. Okay. Let's go save this. Where was this deleted from? Challenge mode. So this looks good. We'll call this all challenge. Let's just call it all difficulty data. No, it is challenge mode difficulty data. No, just difficulty data is fine. Yeah, all difficulty data. Okay, so private, static, read only. It's really just a list of difficulty data, right? And then we just make an array of a bunch of new difficulty data. And type in some numbers that make no sense. Just duplicate that a bunch. I don't know. I'm not even gonna fill it all out. And just delete everything else that we have here. Okay, let's just manually do this. Why is this white? It looks like IntelliSense broke. It did. Okay, well, we're gonna do this time around. We're gonna go over to something here. Find out if one of these things broke. Oh, strange. I mean, I see these errors, but this is for untitled. You just scroll around so the highlight kicks in. It's autocomplete that's not working. And I guess the whole LSP isn't working. Like it's not going to definition. This is what would have caused me to reload in the past. I was hoping this stuff would be fixed. It doesn't look like it is. I wonder if we just reopen the file. No, it didn't do anything. I mean, that wouldn't make sense if it's an LSP problem, right? Is there something else I can look into here? No. Maybe it's from running .NET format. Like if I only need to reload VS Code after running .NET format, that wouldn't be such a big deal. It's when I need to reload it after I do seemingly nothing. That's when I have a problem. I'm hoping everything gets fixed here. Oh, this kind of implies that I had other usings I didn't need. Why does this look so weird? Oh, there it goes. All right, so the tutorial should probably give you a difficulty goal of like 1500. The rest of these, I think setting it to 5000 is probably fine. And then we need some constraints at some point. So let's go figure out what's a good constraint here. Constraint, I don't even know what you call these. Challenge mode constraint ID. Challenge mode constraint ID dot. Let's go with more enemy damage. We just need to say what the new ones are here. Item sales worth less. I'm just going to fill in like 3 of these. There. Great. And then we're going to fill in a bunch that are, I never coded this. Never coded this placeholder. Yeah. Now let's put that down for all of those. Now we do technically need, what, 21 levels here? So how many do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So we need to copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. All right, so there's our 20 levels of data. Validate is, I guess, make sure that if data.count is not equal to new challenge max difficulty level, then throw new something. Yeah, sure. All right. And what, is this not private? What am I messing up now? Oh, it's length. All right, validating each individual thing I don't think is needed. Let's delete that. Then what's, oh, then I need to call validate data though, which means our runtime validator needs this code back in here. Yeah, so this is all difficulty data validate. Okay, that's fine. Then get, so this is difficulty data get, and this is going to be a level, and it's just going to return the level, maybe even .get within bounds. So it can't go outside of that level. Then I guess we delete all of this, so now it doesn't need to be a partial class. And then we delete all these things. Okay. All right, so there's all of our difficulty stuff. Now we go replace fake mods with the real mods. These are constraints. Do constraints have a toString on them? They have a get tooltip. What does this look like? It's just a string. Okay, yeah, that looks good. So then this should be easy to do. Where do we use this? Get within bounds, and then get within bounds all again. And I want to get this from difficulty data. Okay. All difficulty data dot get. Newest mod is get tooltip. Where's get tooltip? Are you kidding me? Oh, right. It's the constraints. Excuse me. There's a constraint string here. I coded that. Oh, because they could add multiple. Oh, darn it. They don't add multiple anymore. Excuse me. Oh, I hiccuped. Let's ignore that for now. It's going to look like trash. This is not right. This is not right at all. This means I put this in the wrong folder. So we got to delete this one. Silly work and redeploying VPN infrastructure. Silly requirements. I feel obligated to say you're not pestering me when you are not doing this stuff. Okay, so this is the newest mod. Fake mods go away. Same thing on Twitch. Go away, fake mods. Get within bounds I. Okay, so as mentioned, this is going to look like trash, but we can then fix the trash. But I don't want to. No, you're a real mod. You have a sword. Did it work? It did not work. No, it did not work. Because of this -1 here, right? We don't subtract 1 anymore, which doesn't that mean we need to subtract 1 from this? Or no, add 1 to this? Or just start it at 1 and say that? and then say level. We could just replace this with level. Okay, let's try that. No, you're not a fake mod either. Hate to lose. Enemies do 150% damage. Yeah, looks good. Items sell for less. All right, cool. So now we got to fix the garbage that's showing up here. Constraint string. I guess technically we could have multiple constraints for a particular level. So we need to ask a question right now, which is, do we ever do that? I think let's just not worry about it for now. So let's say if constraints.count is not equal to 1, then throw new invalid operation exception. And then just return that constraint. Constraint. Oh, wait, it was already right there. Hello? What do we have to do? We get an ID, and then we get the constraint from that ID. And then we call get tooltip on it. And the ID is just going to be the very first one. And then we delete the rest of this garbage. Garbage. It is garbage. All right, so that should fix the bad printing here. That's a shame. The tiny will. But yeah, the rest of this looks good. Yeah, apparently you need to override the format or the size of italicized text. Okay, that's maybe an issue. I didn't think of what happens when constraints are multiple lines. Also, we need to apply these constraints. Okay, let's write that down. So this is done, this is done, this is done. And now apply the constraints. Where did we do this stuff before? Who has any idea? Probably in here somewhere. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, no, 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 no. We did them in the individual constraints, didn't we? Oh, no. There's a has constraint here, and this needs to be fixed, doesn't it? Constraints.contains. Where do we set this up? It's in init. So it must be in the constructor, which is right there, which is this, which is wrong. Okay. Well, I know how to fix this. It's a hash set of everything. This is difficulty level. It's a hash set of everything up until that level. So we do for int level equals 1. Level is, this might not work. And then we say constraints.add all difficulty data.get that level's constraints. Dereference a possibly null value. How is it possibly null? Yeah, there we go. All right, that should work. Let's go try it. How will we even know? One of these constraints has to be obvious enough. Enemies do more damage. I guess that's pretty obvious. So yeah, let's just pick this. And now enemies should do more than... Nope, that broke. Oh, that super broke. Selected challenge label not found. What's even trying to load this? Here? Selected challenge. What even was that? I don't know. I'm just deleting it. I think I know what it was. I think it was that white panel that showed up on the new challenge screen. All right, so we click this, and now witness as, nope, never mind. Don't witness anything. Constraints count is not 1. Oh, I did use this? Okay, hang on. Where is that? Money change, constraints count is not 1. because we show the string inside of there. Oh man, seriously. Yeah. So this is when you, what's the call stack for this? Update tooltip gets a constraint string for difficulty data. Okay, some part of this doesn't make sense. Challenge mode, objective details. We do this every single time the amount of money changes? Oh, I don't like that. And this is technically Wait, I'm confused by this. Let me put a breakpoint here. This should only ever have one. Oh, maybe the 0th one doesn't have everything. Yeah. That's probably what's going on here. Is it trying to get the 0 value here? Is difficulty data somehow not set? It is set. It just doesn't have. It doesn't have a constraint. 5,000. Am I modifying the wrong file? Do I have 2 of these? No, I don't have 2 of these. I don't know what's going on then. The only one that doesn't have a constraint is the first one, and that one has a value of 1,500. What I'm seeing here is a value of 5,000, and it doesn't have a constraint. So how could I have messed that up? Is it broken by the placeholder? It might be. Oh, wow. It's just hard coded here to be nothing. Oh. Well, whoops. Oh, man. What did this used to be? This used to be get it from the specialization. Yeah, this was me not patching up something I had messed up from before, huh? It should just be like that. Huh, interesting. I should have made that at least a standout number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that when I see a weird number, I would have known where it came from. All right, now what do we see? Possibly still a bug here, but I would at least know how to fix that if we do see what I think we're going to see. A constraint will be here, but I haven't finished making them. Adventures button is broken. Yeah, so this is because data count does not match difficulty level. Does not match max difficulty level. It needs to be this plus 1. We add 1 for the tutorial. We're getting there. Okay, so that probably worked. And the way we'll know for sure is by sending the archer in a battle. And if they take more than 10 damage per hit, then I guess the enemies are doing 150% damage. Yeah, they're doing 15. Nice. And then technically, because I'm on level 6, we should also have the garbage slime getting almost no hunger. So this should be incredibly slow. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't even seen it move. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. Okay, so the constraints are being added in. They're not showing up correctly here. And we only probably want to show like the latest 3 constraints. If we only wanted to show the last one, then this is probably just working already. Let's try it out. If we set this to level 1, does this say enemies do more damage? Yes. If we set it to level 2, does it say items sell for less? Yes. So yeah, we could just have it say the newest difficulty modifier is that. But I kind of wanted to show the last 3. Do I care? Where does this show? Target cumulative gold? It's this constraint string. The difficulty data is just the newest one. This is technically not totally accurate here because this contains a set of constraints, which is what? No, it's public. Oh, so then we could just, oh, we can't get the last three though because it's a hash set and there's no ordering. So we need them to be a list. I don't think there's a point in doing this. I think we can just say like the newest difficulty. Newest difficulty modifier. It's kind of obtuse. And then just X out of this thing. Okie dokie. Yeah, I think that's everything. Well, at least everything for this to-do item. Then we just need to clean up the commit and check in. So yeah, now if you pick, well, what happens if you pick level 0? It might break because I don't have a level 0. Yeah, I don't have a level 0. It's going to say that you don't have any constraints, right? I wonder if we should put in a fake constraint. Yeah, constraint count is not 1. This is kind of stupid. I don't think this is the time to validate this anyway. Constraints count is not 1. Maybe if it's equal to 0, we just say return no constraints. Or none. Like lowercase capital maybe. Otherwise return that. I don't know what's going to look good. Might not be the word none. Also, why is that easy, medium, hard stuff showing there? I got to figure that out too. All right, let's try this. We hover over here. It says newest difficulty modifier none. Okay, and what about here? Yeah, nice. Okay, that's pretty good. So now what if I click this and hover over here? Yes, nice. Newest difficulty modifier, items sell for 20% less. Cool. All right, I'm reasonably happy with that. So what is this stuff doing here? Display name messages? This is never used. Which now means these are never used. Okay. We should make sure it's not applying constraints from higher levels. So if I go get the garbage slime, it should now be getting hunger at a reasonable rate. Yeah. Like we'll actually see this rise. Good. Wow. Well, that is certainly something. So let's go clean up this commit. We got rid of all specialization stuff, all difficulty stuff. Difficulty label already existed? Challenge mode end screen. Oh, that's what, that just told you what level you were on. Yeah, that's fine. Button groups. The margins changed here. That's weird. I wonder if we should just delete that because I didn't intend for that to be changed. What if I reopen the scene now? What scene is this? New challenge run screen. This one. That looks fine to me. This UI isn't final anyway. That's why I'm not caring too much about this. This is kind of stupid. It's called HBox container 2. I don't even think there's another HBox container. Just delete the 2. Rich text label 4. Let's call this choose label. Yeah, let's just not have stupid names in here. That's pretty good. This placeholder is fine. This is just called rich text label. This is also like intro text maybe, let's call it. The code never references that stuff. Yeah, put back the margins. Let's just keep them there, I guess. If they're going to get added every time anyway. Maybe force finish the challenge in case something was used by the result screen. Yeah, that's a good idea. Time, money, difficulty, matches. This stuff is all good. Yeah, cool. And there's technically not going to be a way to lose in the future. And oh, that free play thing we probably want to change, don't we? The free play label may have to change. I guess. I'll just write that. I'll figure it out later. All right, what else do we have here? Choose a difficulty level, blah, blah, blah. If all this looks good, I'm not going to review this because I'm going to come back to this at some point anyway. Oh, this is trash. This is just going to say set via code. Then let's reload that over here. Cool. All right, so a lot of deleted code. We're going to see a lot of files like this. Then this is all temporary stuff for now. This is selected difficulty. Maybe this should be renamed to difficulty level. What is this? Challenge mode configuration. Difficulty level. Okay, let's go back to the diff. Looks good. So this is like all constraints. Constraints from every level. This is looking fine. Yeah, a lot of deleted stuff. That's fine. This is not supposed to be checked in. Hey, Capillara. Welcome back. Happy resub day. How's everything going? So do we delete this for now? I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Good. What about you? I'm doing pretty good. I am really, really excited about these changes that I've been making. It's in the today command, the context of this stuff, but I'll summarize this so you don't have to go read this. But basically, we added challenge mode about a month and a half ago, and we got some people to try it, and it wasn't just like an immediate hit, which is fine. I don't mind that. I just need enough feedback and insight to be able to make it better. So we got enough feedback pretty much saying a few things like it's kind of hard to get into challenge mode. It's not as casual as the main game, even once you've gotten into it. So we are going to ease people into it. We're going to make it more casual. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hey, Britarius. All is going well. Yeah. So I think we're in pretty good shape. But yeah, what I'm excited about is whenever I'm done with this, maybe a week from now, maybe 2 weeks from now, sharing this with playtesters again and seeing, is it a good change? Has it caught on? Because this has happened in Skeleseller's past where we've made some decisions where people are just like, oh, I don't like that. And some of it, I mean, I'm not going to listen to everyone saying they don't like something about the game. But when enough people say it, it probably means something is wrong. So yeah, you make some changes, you go try them out. If they ended up working, then you know we're headed in the right direction. And what's nice about that is, like, we were on this nice little timeline here where it was like, it was just a straight line from start to finish. And now we've taken this little like deviation. We're not like 50% of the way through. We're probably like here. We've taken this deviation into challenge mode stuff. And then we're coming back to, so this is all gone. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is we've taken a detour. And the longer this detour takes, the farther we are from launching the game. If challenge mode is fun and the fun can be enhanced somehow, it doesn't mean we can't launch the game. It means we just need to make some improvements maybe after launch. But I'm not even planning that right now. I'm just planning on, like, I want the game to be fun. I just want it to work. Man, game dev is just so involved. All right, difficulty. You know what we could do? We could do this plus the minimum -1, and then we don't need a comment there. Yeah, that's what we should do. I don't know what file that was in though. Validator, all difficulty data. Here it is. All right, so it's not equal to max +1 minus new challenge run screen dot minimum. That should work. Let's try running it. As long as we can click start game, then we know it worked. That's weird. It plopped me in. That's also weird. No, wait, maybe it's not. Okay, everything worked. Which means I left code in that shouldn't be there. Let's go back to this. Somewhere there is a show. It's on the title screen. I guess I need to fix the title screen. Yeah. Okay, where is the title screen? Here. So we get rid of this. Okay, cool. All right, so what did this all do? Remove specializations and difficulties. Didn't we also add in the difficulty track? We did. Yeah. Revamp difficulty selection. Specializations and the old difficulty IDs are gone. There is now a challenge track that lets you pick from level 0 to 20. Not all constraints have been coded, and the ones that are there are placeholders anyway. Andor, how goes it? How's your Friday? Is there anything else I need to say here? I don't think so. All right. Well. Relaxing? Good to hear. All right, we have gotten some pretty hefty work done already. Let's go fill out the journal. It says finished script, but I don't see a date there. There it is. Started working on, or started coding the design from yesterday. Making challenge mode more approachable and fun. Okay, so what time is it right now? 11:20. Man, I started the stream a little bit early because I was gonna say it's almost been 3 hours, and I've been taking breaks. And I think I'm gonna take a longer break now and get an early lunch. But let me read about this stuff. Timer count up instead of down. Prevent losing. Free play label may have to change. Change a winning screen to show this. Allow for getting medals. Wow. You know, it's rare that this happens. I feel like we spent, I don't even know how much, maybe like 3 days doing game design. And it's not going to turn into like 1 month of code. I don't know how much it will turn into, but I'd estimate maybe like 5 to 10 days of coding. And that ratio of 3 to, let's say, 10 is not typical. Like sometimes I spend 3 days and then I spend like 20 to 30 days coding it. I guess it all depends on how much of the system we already had. Debating on if I should continue my coding project or not. You mean like right now or just in general? Because I was going to say it's late enough in the day for you where it might just be nice to relax. But if you mean like, oh, what about tomorrow or something? Like, yeah, why not? All right. So I don't see this stuff being all that difficult. I think this is what the afternoon is really going to be about. To the point where I wonder if we should even worry about this stuff yet. Maybe we should just focus on this. Yeah, I don't want to... I think we should start with the biggest stuff. I messed that up, didn't I? Yeah, I want to put this all up here. Cheating by reusing a lot of UI artifacts, showing difficulty already. I don't even think that was the part that saved us a lot of time. I think it was that if you think about what we have in terms of, what were specializations and what was difficulty, specializations were some positives, some negatives. And difficulties were just like changing the extent of those. So maybe some negatives got more negative. And now we're going to have a like the challenge track, which is just the negatives. And then we're going to have meta perks, which are just the positives. So it's like this stuff already existed. And we're just changing how we're presenting it, really. One of the smaller services I like to have, making my work life easier. Oh, like a work coding project. Interesting. Okay. Well, I don't know. That's up to you. Do you feel like you have the energy for it? All right, this will be the afternoon goal. If we can get this done, I think we can just like end the stream. I probably shouldn't. I should probably keep working after that, but I would be so happy if we got that stuff done because the rest of this, I don't think it's gonna be nearly as bad. Yeah. Maybe just drawing around how I'd like to set up the service. I wonder how much you can use AI for something like that if the goal is just to make your life easier. I was actually thinking of vibe coding something for the first time. We need metrics for this stuff, and I was thinking collecting it is pretty much just like collecting save files and sending them to a server. And the server is just going to be like save into a database. So could I just have AI code that for me in like 5 minutes? Probably. What I'm more concerned with is how would we get the boilerplate set up? I've made a bunch of servers and stuff in the past, and it's like, okay, what language do we want to use? Now, what's the like get a simple server set up with it? Then I need to expose it somehow, and yeah, I'll figure all that out. Yeah, all right, I'm done kind of meandering through this stuff. Like I said, it's about 11:22. It's gonna be an early lunch. I'll get going for now. I'll come back in about an hour. So expect me back at about 12:30 for me. It's about an hour. Come back, work on MetaPerk UI. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. So if Skeleseller looks cool to you, if you haven't already checked it out for whatever reason, I haven't seen very many new names, but wishlisting it on Steam, trying out the demo would be great. And if you like the demo and you want to try these things I'm working on, they'll be done in about a week or two, and I can make them available for playtesters. So there is the link for that. And that is all from me for now. I will see you all in about an hour. Take care. Have a good rest of your day if I don't see you.